Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, I am Shrutanshi. In today's video, I thought it would be fun to catch up with you guys and also answer some frequently asked questions. I do regular Q&As on my Instagram, so make sure to follow me here. Anyways, I am really looking forward to answer your questions because some of them are really real and they made me think. Before we get into it, if you're new here, I am an international student studying in Melbourne, Australia. I'm studying biomedical science, doing my bachelor's, and I'm majoring in medical biotechnology. So this video is going to be all from my perspective, how my time has been in Melbourne. I get a lot of questions about the admissions process, what the fee structure is like, how to figure out what you need to go to, and my suggestion would be, once you know what course you want to do, I would suggest going to the university website that you've decided to apply to, search that course up and look through their unit map, look through their course guide, and that'll give you an idea of what units you'll be doing in the 3-4 years you're going to be in that university. Another question I get asked often is why I chose to do my bachelor's abroad. I would say it wasn't like a very set decision for me, but I've always sort of been the person who's more into, a mix of academics, extracurriculars, all of that, and I believe in being well-rounded, and that's one of the reasons that contributed to what decision I ended up taking place. And I'm really grateful for the support and my family and the fact that I could make that decision at the end of the day. A lot of people ask me questions about my university and what kind of accommodation you should look for, and I've answered a few accommodation specific questions in my other videos. I would recommend, just to reiterate, that living on campus or living really close to uni should be your best bet, especially as a bachelor student, because your priority is to study. When talking price ranges, on-campus accommodation can be, I would say, a minimum of $1,000 per month, but that would include your bills, on-campus residence, so you meet a lot of people there, just cleaning, all the amenities are included, so it does save you a lot of hassle. I would say you just sort of have to weigh your pros and cons. If you're living off campus, you have to be very lucky to get a cheap place. I currently pay over $800 a month excluding bills. I do live pretty close to campus, not too far, so I don't spend a lot of money on transportation. I got a question about the water quality in Melbourne, and I would say it's safe. I just drink tap water, and that hasn't been an issue so far, so I would say that's all right. Now, coming to daily expenses and money saving tips. So some people ask me about what my daily expenses look like, and I would say I am not a very intense spender. Like, I am pretty mindful about how I spend. There are a few weeks where I'm generally going through it and I'm eating a lot from outside because I don't have the time, and that's completely all right. That does happen. If you're eating all your meals outside in a day, it would go to a minimum of about $50-$60, and this is like very generous. If you're being mindful, it can be a bit less if you save money, if you go to more cheap eat spots in the city. And then on transportation, it can be a maximum of $10.50. That's how much they cut off your Mikey, which is this card you have to carry for transportation purposes. It is very expensive. Quality of life is very expensive, and that brings me to another point, which is, I would say, the most asked question: part-time jobs. It is comparatively difficult for bachelor students to get part-time jobs, especially for the right pay. Your best option, I would say, is to look for like on-campus jobs, student ambassador roles, because they are really flexible and they understand that you're students, and they give you that flexibility to work out with your assignments, your exams, even though the shifts are less because you're still working casual, so you don't really get shifts that often, but it is still more convenient as a student, and it's an easier transition and also looks good on your CV. I also often get asked what job I do. do, and my experience with part-time jobs has been a bit rocky here. I didn't really work my first year of uni, and in my second year I did like student ambassador jobs, but the shifts were very rare. I still do on-campus jobs, but they're more regular, so I'm doing some regular roles now, and it doesn't put a lot of pressure on me, and some weeks I'm really busy. But again, these roles are so competitive. I had applied for so many of them and I ended up getting one regular role. Someone asked me, festive seasons away from home, how does that feel? And I would just like to say I hate it. I don't get homesick that often, but the one time that I do is during festive season. If there's any festival back home and my family video calls me, I immediately get FOMO, and it's just different, but always to cope up with it, I just make like Indian food with my friends, or like just do something to get in touch with anything that's going on at home. It just helps me cope with it, if that makes sense. So study stress, a lot of people have asked me about this. My workload is pathetic. Let's start there. But that's also because I'm just this kind of person who loves to take a lot on their plate. So I wouldn't say specifically because of my course, it's also because I've taken up a lot of extracurriculars. The course on its own, it is very challenging though, because unlike a lot of courses out there, it's not only exam based or not only assignment based. The worst of everything basically. It has assignments, it has my practicals, it has quizzes, it has exams, and that's amazing because who wouldn't like that, right? Practicals are really fun though. Practicals, I would say, are one of my favorite parts, and the one favorite thing about my university is that the practicals are really hands-on, so we get to do all the practicals by ourselves, and it just helps the transition from university life to real world just seem better. That brings me to my internship. So if you follow me on my Instagram, you've seen my little mini vlogs at my internship. People ask me about how I got an internship, how they can source one. I know it sounds very basic. Your best bet is to just keep cold emailing professors, asking them if their labs are available. Email them with interest in their research, tell them how you appreciate their research and why you're interested in it. I would say don't be desperate. I've had a really bad lab experience as well, and I would just say be smart about it. Judge your supervisor as much as they're judging you. At the end of the day, you have to work with them, and if your personalities or if your work ethic doesn't gel the right way, your experience is not going to be the best, which is something it's not ideal, and it's not something that you want out of the experience. So definitely something to keep in mind. Stalk them on LinkedIn. Oh my god, LinkedIn has become my go-to app when I wake up in the morning, which is such a bad habit. Doing biomedical science, if they want to pursue medicine after that, think of it as a gateway into doing medicine. Some of the units pretty much have all the content that you need. So what would you change in your journey? What are your lessons learned? Y'all, I skipped my afternoon nap today, and this question is making me think. I would say not reaching out to a lot of people before I came here. Even if it seems like obvious information, it's always just good to build practice talking to people. It's all about growing, and I know it's really overwhelming, and the best way to seek any sort of support is from people who already are in your position. I love answering you guys' questions. I know it's very, very stressful when you're applying for colleges and all of that, and I just thought this cozy video would help. It's been a couple of busy months for me, but it is what it is, and just a lot of things going on, and I haven't been able to fully update you guys or even do a fun vlog. I really miss filming. But besides that, ask your questions down in the comments below. As usual, I'll answer them whenever I can. Subscribe to my channel for more student life content, and I will see you guys in my next video. Until then, bye.